Hey everyone, welcome to the Coyote Country Lodge, brought to you by PredatorHuntingWorld.com, the official store for Coyote Country gear and apparel. So this episode, I want to cover rifle barrel break-in. Some people don't think it's important, some people do. Now this is in my opinion, this is the procedure that I find the best, that has actually made an incredible difference in how accurate our rifles are overall during the long term that we're using them. So what you need to do while you're trying to break them in, when these rifles are manufactured, when the bores are cut at the factory, there are micro pores within the metal itself down the bore. Now I'm putting up this graphic, it's a little crude, but it's kind of the best I can come up with. It's more just an illustration just to kind of, simulate what these pores are. They're little tiny valleys and holes within the metal itself. So what happens when you just start shooting rounds through it, you ended up ramming a bunch of copper from your bullet into those little pores, and the barrel never properly gets sealed. So what you need to do is you actually need to get this copper fouling out of the barrel while you're breaking it in to make sure that the factory material of the barrel itself, the steel of the barrel itself, can fill in these and polish these little micro pores out. So it's kind of a simple procedure, but it is a little time consuming. What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna shoot just one shot. It doesn't matter how accurate you are, you're not trying to sight in at this point, you're just basically putting a bullet down the chamber to get this process started. So then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna clean. And I'm talking clean the whole thing. I use pads, I don't like brushes or bristles or anything like that. I just wanna get the stuff out of the barrel as easy as I can. So what I do is I start with original formula Windex, that is the best. In my opinion, and then we go to a solvent that removes the copper fouling. I want to get all that copper out of those little tiny pores within the barrel itself. After that, then I'm going to go back through with Windex one more time just to make sure that I don't have any solvent still hanging out in those little pores. Let everything dry out real good. The next part of this is you want that barrel to be cold. Don't just go and shoot another round right away. You want it to be cold. So what happens when barrels get hot is they can warp if they have imperfections in them. So you're trying to keep this thing in its natural state during this entire process. So you let this thing get stone cold. This is where it takes a little time. Then you start over. You're gonna do this 10 times. You're gonna shoot, you're gonna clean, you're gonna let it cool down. So after the 10th shot, and I am making small adjustments, trying to sight in as I go, even though the rifle's not real accurate at this point. I mean, it will wander around quite a bit. I'm just trying to get it within maybe a 6-inch group while I'm going through this break-in procedure. And we normally do this at a 200-yard range because that's where I'm gonna ultimately end up sighting in my rifle. So when we go through this process, after the 10th time of doing this, I noticed that my groups are getting tight all of a sudden. After the 10th, you can shoot it twice, even 3 times maybe. Usually by the 14th shot, I'm completely sighted in and I'm shooting 1 inch or under groups, doesn't matter the rifle, at 200 yards. Definitely, in my opinion, the best way to break in a rifle. Get out to the range, go through this procedure and see how tight you can get your groups. So this episode is brought to you by PredatorHuntingWorld.com, the official store for Coyote Country gear and apparel. Also, for social media, if you guys want to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, our handle for all 3 of those is Coyote Country TV. Or if you want more information about our show, Coyote Country, which airs on the Pursuit channel, that's coyotecountry.tv. Guys, remember, it's always better being out in the field than it is sitting home on the couch.